Okay, so I know I've shared on recent stories and posts that the last couple months have just not been the best for me mentally. So I'd say it kind of started in March, like around Eric's death anniversary, and yeah, I just got in a really dark place and I didn't know how to get myself out of it. So I have been a little MIA the last few weeks working on myself, but what I wanted to get on here and say is that I know I've talked about how since Eric died, I still had his phone connected, and I was literally paying for it every month because of the voicemail. Like, me and Emmy, all the kids, I mean, when we're feeling sad, or not even sad, just want to hear his voice, we will call his voicemail and leave him a voicemail. So yeah, I've been paying monthly for the last 2 years for his phone to still be on. That's just, grief. Like, I couldn't get myself to shut it off, and I don't think I ever would have gotten to that point, but the last few weeks I feel like I have been in such a fight or flight mode. I've been doing things and I'm really not even paying attention or realizing what I'm doing. But about a month ago, Emmy was like, let's call Dad, I want to hear his voice. And I was like, perfect, yeah, great idea, let's do it. So I called and his voicemail was full. So I went to my room, I grabbed his phone because I still have it, and he ran a business, so obviously he does get a lot of business calls and spam calls, and honestly dozens of voicemails a day probably. So I go to his mailbox and I'm deleting dozens of voicemails from all machines or business, wanting to do something with websites or whatever. So I'm deleting and deleting and deleting, and I shut his phone off and I'm like, okay, Emmy, let's try again. And we call, and same thing, his voicemail box is full. So I went back on his phone, I deleted every single voicemail of his other than ones I have left or Emmy left or people close to him left. I don't listen to anything anyone else sends him, but I just kept it on there. And so maybe there's just a handful of voicemails. There's really nothing compared to what there was, right? So I'm okay, it's definitely gonna work. So I call it again and nope, it says the voicemail's full, can't leave a voicemail. I was so sad. I waited a couple days, same thing. I waited a couple weeks, and so that was 2 weeks ago, and I called and same thing. His voice was gone. His voicemail was gone. So like I said, I was in such fight or flight. I think I was just angry. I literally went to the AT&T store and canceled his line, not even realizing what I was doing. And obviously I don't need that line anymore. The only reason I wanted it was to hear his voice. But this morning I go to call someone and he's still top of my favorites. And man, it hit me. I had a really good cry about it, because I guess I wasn't even processing it in that moment that I don't want to say I'm never going to hear that voicemail again, because I know years ago after he died, I did a video recording of it because I was just in case. But it just makes me so sad that we can't just call him and leave a voicemail, and Emmy can't just be let's call Daddy and leave him a voicemail. And it's those little things in grief that are kind of a gut punch. But yeah, so I'm sure that was adding on to everything else on top of everything else that's been happening the last few weeks. So now I'm just I was sitting there and I was okay, now what do? Do I leave his contact on the top of my favorites list, or do I delete it? Now what? Grief.